Hey, family. Kim Love Jones here, certified relationship coach. What am I doing? I'm trying to go to my Facebook so I can share this in my Facebook group, y'all. Yes. Hey. I decided that I was going live. Hold on one second. Yes. Okay, there I go. Okay, so I shared it on my Facebook group. Okay, so wait, let me cut this down. Oops, what am I doing? Hold on. I can't. I gotta put my phone on do not disturb. Oh my gosh. I'm doing too much. I am doing way too much, y'all. I'm doing way too much. I am trying to fix it because what I am about to do is I'm literally going live on TikTok at the same time from my cell phone because we need balance in our relationships. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I am so excited. I am so happy to be going live. And somebody taught me this neat little trick where I can go live on Facebook and on TikTok at the same time. So instead of me going live today at 12 o'clock, I said, let me try this tonight. Let me see how this whole thing works out. Say hello, say hello. I see you watching. I see you watching. Tonight, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about balance in relationships. I know that a lot of times we get involved and we deal with people, and sometimes we're not getting what it is that we want and we need in that relationship. And the reality of the situation is it's not fair. And we end up selling ourselves short because we're not getting the emotional support. Hi, I see y'all watching. I see y'all watching in them TikTok streets, right? And we don't get what it is that we say that we really truly want and need because we are literally allowing all kinds of shenanigans to go on, and we don't realize that in order to be successful in our relationships, we have got to have balance. We have got to have balance in our relationships, right? Again, I'm Kim Love Jones. I'm a certified relationship coach, and I've been doing this officially, I think, for about 12 to 13 years and unofficially for about 15. Right. And so, what I wanted to jump on and talk about tonight is the fact that if there is no balance, it's going to be a problem in your relationship. It doesn't mean that you can't work through it. It doesn't mean that you can't hey, Thomas, I see you. How are you? Thank you for watching. Yes. I definitely want to just talk about this because relationships tend to be one-sided, and I promise you that if there is no reciprocity, there is no relationship. There is no real relationship. If you're not standing 10 toes down in what honors you and in what you need, the relationship is not going to work. At some point there is going to be a breakdown if you do not talk about and or discuss what is actually happening in that relationship. I see y'all joining. Yes, thank you for watching. So let's be honest. Most of our relationships, right, like, they're equitable. Unless you're talking about sometimes your siblings or your children or your whatever, because your children can't give you. Let me close my window. I apologize, y'all. Let me close this window because I'm gonna hear all the cars going by. So unless it's your child or it's your sibling or something like that, sometimes the relationships are not equitable. And I get it. I really do get it. Hey, Willie, I see you watching. I am live both on the Book of Face and on TikTok. And I'm trying to get it because I love those TikTok streets. So I am here for it, right? And y'all know I love y'all over on the Facebook side. Y'all already know that, on the Book of Face, right? But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I don't think you can have an authentic relationship without actually leaning into the truth about what you need and what you want for your life, right? Being in a relationship requires emotional, mental, um, hi G Man, thank you for joining. It requires mental and emotional support, right? You cannot be in a lopsided relationship. And I know I said that, but it is so important that we have reciprocity. And if there is no reciprocity, then there is no real relationship. I'm saying that again because I feel like it needs to be, you know, I needed to stress that point, right? I've had relationships with people who I absolutely love and adore. And at some point, there was a breakdown in communication. They didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what they wanted. Things weren't working out. And so the relationship was diminished. But at the same time, let me be honest, I wasn't speaking truth. Hey, Marsha, I see you, my love. How are you? How are you? I wasn't being honest. I myself was being the disingenuous one because I never really told them how I felt. I never told them that the things that they were doing were bothering me or they irritated me. And now, the reason why I can say it now is because I'm saying things from a different perspective. I'm saying them from a place of love. And I'm being honest because I realize that if I am not honest, then and genuine about how I feel, then literally what I am doing is I am tearing down the possibility of having a healthy relationship. I realize that my silence is violence. I realize that if I don't ever say how I genuinely feel, it's going to be problematic for me overall, right? Like the relationship is not going to work unless I speak my truth in love, right? Not I see y'all watching. I see y'all watching. Thanks for watching. And so the idea is that if you're going to be in any relationship, let that relationship be authentic, let it be genuine, let it be real. I'm not forcing anything. You're not forcing anything, right? We're going to love up on each other and we're going to keep it real all the time. And I don't mean keep it real as in hurting feelings, because that's not what we're trying to do. We're talking about how we genuinely feel in relationships and how that not talking about how you genuinely feel is counterproductive to your relationship working. Period. Period. Do you know how many people stay in relationships and say, I'm just gonna keep the peace. I ain't gonna say nothing. And then 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you aggravated. The person keeps doing it. They don't know how you feel. They keep doing whatever it is that they've been doing, and then they think you got brand new when you say something a year and a half later, right? We don't want that. We want genuine relationship. And genuine relationship, you're not keeping the peace if you're not speaking your truth. There is no peace if you're not speaking your truth because you are in turmoil. So if you're in turmoil and you haven't spoken your piece, then you are contributing to the degradation of your relationship, period. It can't work like that. You have to be honest about how you feel, right? So if you're going to be in a relationship, we have to be honest, right? There needs to be some balance, right? So here's the thing. You deserve to be heard, understood, and validated. Your feelings, how you feel about a particular thing, is legit because that's how you feel. And so when we begin to suppress how we feel, we do ourselves a disservice because it's going to come up again, right? So here's the question, and this is what I want you to ask yourself. Are we checking on, if you're in a relationship, are you making sure? Let me say it this way. Are you making, thank you for the follow. Thank you for following me. Are you making sure that you're checking in with your partner to make sure that their feelings, that they, like having these little mini sessions, like, babe, how was your day today? Like what's going on with you? Like, how do you feel? And blah, blah, blah. Whatever the situation is, are you doing a check-in in your relationships? Are you making sure you having your little meetings about the things that's really bothering you? And I know men in particular don't particularly like to have these types of meetings, but if you want to have success in your relationship, you will have these meetings. If you love her and you care about her, you'll ask the necessary questions. You'll want to know why. You want to know why you see she seems to be a little off kilter, why she's not saying much. And ladies, it's up to you to be honest. It's up to you to be honest. Don't say nothing. Because then they're going to think, oh no, babe, I was just thinking about the job. No, you wasn't. Be honest. Be honest about where you are and what you do. Kim, how do you know when you're healed? Okay. All right. That's a good question. That's a good question. So you know you healed. Here's just a quick answer to that. You'll know you healed when you only want the best for them. You'll know that you're healed after all of the damage that was done. You'll know that you've released it. And I'm being honest. When you begin to pray for them and want what is absolutely the best for them in every area of their lives. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm keeping it real. Right? That's how I knew I was really getting good, because I started praying for my ex-husband, and I was praying for his success and for him to win and for him to be better. That's how I knew that I was walking up on my own healing, right? Because I pray that you just have the absolute best. And the reason why I did that, and I'm being honest, was because my kids need him. Our children, they need him. They need him to show up each and every day, each and every day. They need him to be the father for them, you know. And a lot of people, and I'm being honest, a lot of people don't realize that, right? Because I know there's sometimes wars over the children, because somebody's like, oh, I don't want my babies, my kids around, you know, this other person and all this other stuff. But hear me when I tell you, you said so true. I forgave and prayed for him, and I was walking in grace. I could let go. Thank you. Yes. Yes. When I began to pray for him to be successful in every area of his life, I knew then. You got a flash goal. So let me start that. Okay. All right. I'm doing my little flash goal right now, y'all. I'm doing my little flash goal. Yeah. So yeah, the idea, maybe people not being exposed to effective communication growing up is why it's hard as an adult. I agree with that. I really do agree with that. I agree that there are some people who were told to sit down and shut up, or don't, you know, or don't open your mouth, or don't say anything. And even as children, I think, you know, coming up when I came up, I ain't trying to tell y'all my age, I play too much. But anyway, yeah, I think, you know, especially with me being the baby in my family, nobody cared what I thought. I had the biggest mouth. I still got the biggest mouth in the family. I'm a lot nicer now. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, hey, sisters, Inspire Sisters, I see you. I see you, my love. I see you. Thank you, girlie. Yes, thank you for the heart. You know, but real talk, like, when we're taught to be quiet, to be still, to not say anything, and then you're told, even if you have a disagreement with your, you know, sibling, you know, oh, just leave it alone, y'all stop crying, I mean stop fighting, stop arguing, you know. No, I need to say what I need to say, right? So our parents weren't as giving in terms of teaching us how to have great relationships and right, and communicate the way that we genuinely feel. In fact, a lot of our feelings were never validated. They didn't care, right? And it wasn't that they didn't care, they didn't have the tools to negotiate this. Now, all of the things that we have access to in this day and age, right, is definitely different. And so we render differently. We don't, you know, we're learning more, so we treat our kids, you know, better. We do things differently. Bernard says, I think because we are limited to understanding what communication is, and it's just different forms. Absolutely. There's body language, you know, our facial expressions, the way that we express ourselves in our faces when we're upset or disgruntled. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and here's the other thing. When you're always hyperbolic, right, and you're always negative, because you see things through a negative lens. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem for most of us, to be honest with you. It really is a problem. But the thing that we have to understand, if there's going to be balance in relationships, we have to understand the emotional support goes both ways. It goes both ways. You can't have a one-sided relationship and it's lopsided, right? Well, one person is trying to pour, give, and the other person is just sitting back in the cut and acting like ain't nothing going on. That's not gonna work. That is definitely not gonna work. You know, it doesn't work for anybody in any relationship. We need reciprocity. I had a situation happen to me this weekend, y'all. I was out, I saw some friends, I was at a restaurant, right? And I saw some friends, and some of my friends I'm closer to, like as people that I kind of know, right? And so I know everybody, but there's one person in particular I'm extremely close to. And we were in the restaurant, and they was like, I don't even think they were conscious that they were throwing me shade, right? Because now we're in a different environment, right? Usually when I see you, you know, we out, we running around, we doing something, I see you. But now it was a little bit different. And I felt some kind of a way. Because I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? You acting funny style? Like, I'm sitting there, and y'all, let me be honest. If I'm gonna have a cocktail, it would be like a glass of white wine. I'm a Moscato woman. I love Moscato, right? And I really don't like drink a lot. So if I have one is too many. But I was at this little soiree, and at this restaurant, and another, you know, friends were coming in. They was like, Kim, what are you drinking? I was like, oh, I'm drinking a Moscato, you know. Okay, I got you, you know, and they bought me a drink. And then somebody else bought me a drink. And now, you know, because you know the peeps. And they're like, you know, oh, blah, blah. And I'm past two, y'all. I ain't no good. I'm telling on myself. But anyway, somebody else bought me a third drink. So I'm sitting there now. Y'all know I'm playing myself because two Moscatos is enough for me. But anyway, I'm telling the story, right? And this friend of mine's, who I'm extremely close to, never even said, he almost acted like he didn't know me. Right? And I was like, huh? Like he said something, but it wasn't like, you know, we really, really cool, right? It wasn't like, you know, and I was like, oh, I see you. So I politely got up. I said, you know what? Let me go. Right. Because I was like, you acting funny style. I don't know what that's all about. But I didn't say anything. I just said, okay, I'll talk to you all later. I hugged and kissed everybody. So let me get out of here. And the reason why I'm even sharing that is because I'm not climbing no mountains no more for nobody who won't even jump over a puddle for me. I'm not doing it. And I've been saying this and I've been repeating it over and over and over again. I have been repeating this because I am not doing it anymore. I have been honest about myself. I'm being honest about where I stand. I mean what I say, and I mean business. So I felt a particular way because people that I don't even know that well were showing me more love, more kindness than somebody that I know, like, and I'm extremely close to. I was like, wow, okay, I see now. It bothered me a great deal. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I had another homeboy of mine who I take to the doctor, do everything for. And I needed him to listen to me one time because I was talking about something that was really passionate in my heart. And he said, I don't want to hear that, Love Jones. And I said, huh? I will climb mountains for you. And I'm telling you about something and you can't look out for me. You are like a brother to me, and you can't, okay, got you. Shots was fired. I need y'all to hear me and understand. And the reason why I wanted to talk about balance in relationships today is because if there is no balance, there can be no real relationship. I'm not climbing mountains for people who wouldn't even jump over a puddle for me. There needs to be balance in order for a relationship to be successful. It can't be lopsided. It doesn't work. You understand? And I'm talking about people that I genuinely have real relate. Like if you need me, I'm gonna come running. Like what you need, what you need. This is why I'm saying this. It's not a random any old body. Like I don't ever see these people, right? And I see them like all the time. I talk to them all the time. If you need me, all you got to do is make a phone call and I'm there. I'm that type of friend with all of my girlfriends and all of my guy friends who I consider brothers. If I am out somewhere and I see that you acting funny style, I'm going to correct that in an instant because I already know how I render in your life. I don't mean anything much to you. If you can start treating me funny style, then I'm not the person. Like, what are we doing here? We're not even really friends, are we? You were treating me like I was an acquaintance. We don't do that. And I said, I'm not doing this no more because I know the minute my phone rings, if there's anything, if there's a need for anything, I'm there for you. And that's all of my male and female friendships, all of them. And I'm a homebody. So if you can get me to move and come out of my house and do things for you, go grocery shopping, take you to go get some food, go do stuff because you have a need and you can't do it for yourself. If I'm that type of person and I look out for people, then doggone it, I don't want to be bothered with people who won't do the same for me. I'm sorry. We in 2025, the game has changed. Hear me when I tell you. I'm not doing it anymore. And what I started doing, because this is really not about them as much as it is about me honoring me. When I made the executive decision in my life that I was no longer going to participate in relationships that were not reciprocal at a certain level. Now, there's some of my friends who have disabilities who cannot give me what I can give them. They can't drive me to the doctor even if they wanted to. And I will always show up and be there for them and take them where they need to go. But if all you can do, right? If all you can do is listen to me if I'm having a hard day or something's bothering me and you can't do that, I can't. I gotta put you at a different level in my life. It's not that I don't love you. I'm going to continue to pray for you. And if you need me, I'll probably still come. But the reason why there needs to be balance in every relationship, I don't care if it's with your sister, your brother, your cousins, you need somebody who thinks as much about you as you think about them. And especially in a romantic relationship. Especially in a romantic relationship. It does not work if we are not honest. It does not work if there is no reciprocity. So we have to be clear about that. Hey, Lisa. I see you, baby. Hi, Brother Allen. I see y'all. Watching. I'm in both streets. I'm on TikTok and I'm on the Book of Face. Yes, I am. And I'm actually streaming on the Tube as well. Yeah, I'm actually streaming there in 3 places. Right? But I think that it is vitally important to understand what it is that you need for your life. And I think a lot of times it's part of our healing process. And the reason why I think this keeps coming up for me personally, if I can be honest with y'all, is because it's still an area that I'm working out in my own life. Right. And you know that every time you make a declaration that you want to change your life or you want things to be different, you're going to be tested and tried at different levels about that same thing. Right. It's more or less like this. The day I start to say, I've changed is the day I'm going to be challenged in that area that I said I changed. Right. Thank you for the follow. Thank y'all for following me. I appreciate that. Y'all tap that good screen. Tap that screen. Hello. Stop playing. Y'all play too much. Tap that screen. Give me them hearts. If y'all liking this live. But it's important. It is vitally important that we do things the proper way. And so it can't be one-sided. If I'm always there to support you, but you never support me, that's a problem. And so that's just one of the things because I need to be emotionally supported. Willie, what did you say? Willie says, hold on, we must grow together as time pass. We change with new development. What we thought and wanted a few years sometime has no value today. That's true. When you make a commitment, you are willing to work things out with the ups and the downs. I agree with that, Willie. I do. But if only one person is making the commitment, then it don't work. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because you do. You work things out because you love the person, right? Because you care. Hi, Coley Cole. I see you, baby. I love you. You work things out because you care about them, because you love them, because you want the relationship to work, right? But you cannot keep selling your own self short. You can't. You have to honor who you are and what you want and what you need in your relationships, right? Coley, I'm going to be busy on Mother's Day. I'm going to the cemetery to go put some flowers on at my mother's grave. Yeah, for Mother's Day. I'm surprised I'm even still not crying right now, but I know it's going to come at some point, right? But honestly, like we want to be able to communicate with our partner or potential partner without fear. In a healthy dynamic, you should feel safe saying, this hurts me. This is what I need. If one person is doing all the emotional heavy lifting, that's an imbalance. That's an imbalance. I remember one day I told a friend of mine, I told her, I said, um, it's not all the other person's fault. Because I was listening, right, to the whole story and was kind of there on a blow by blow. And I had to say, it's not all the other person's fault. You have to take responsibility for what you did and how that thing, rendered at the end. Because a lot of people won't take responsibility. Good evening, Peaches. I see you. I see you, my love. A lot of people will not take responsibility for what they do in their relationships, right? Willie said, wait, let me show your comment. If there is not, oops, I'm sorry. If there is not love, you should not be there. You is as one. You should, right, agreed. I agreed. I agree. If there is no love in the relationship, then what are we doing, right? What are we actually doing? But sometimes, Willie, can I be honest about that? I want to be really honest about that. If you're just starting out, thank you for the daily heartbeat. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you are just starting out in the relationship and you're not honest about who you are or where you are in this relationship, that then becomes the bigger problem. You can't get to true love. You can't even get to healthy if you're not going to be honest about what you need and what you want. And too many people are running around here being disingenuous, and like they'll go out on their first, second, or third date and they'll still be eating the salad, acting like they don't want the burger. Like, stop it. Eat the burger. I mean, don't eat the salad. Like, if you don't want the salad, don't fake. There is no future in front. And then I keep telling people this. Be honest about what you need and what you want. And be honest as soon as possible, right? Because when you're honest about what you need and what you want, it's a game changer. It is an absolute game changer because you find out quickly whether or not that person is for you without getting your emotions all involved. So what, you like them, you're not emotionally involved to that level. You just think that they're cute, right? So if you're going to be honest, I'm sorry, not if you're going to be, you have to be honest. Thank you, Peaches, for the dolphin. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for the love. Y'all, you showing me some real love, right? We have to be real. And so what I find is that a lot of people are showing up inauthentically, and then 6 months down the line trying to figure out why it didn't work, because they don't even know who you are. They don't know the real you, right? So you have to share, you have to allow people in legitimately in the relationships. You have to. So then how can I avoid ending up in a situationship? Okay, girly, I'm not sure. What do you mean in a situationship? Just know what you want. You won't end up in a situationship when you know what you want, because you're going to convey that right from the box. And if they're not being honest, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have to be real from the beginning, right? And if they're not being honest, like say that, like you say, I want a relationship, and they're saying, well, I'm not ready for a relationship. Anything you do past that point is on you. Anything you do past that point is on you. Because you have, hey, Sandy, I see you, my love, my sister. Anything, like you just signed a waiver. It's like to get on the biggest roller coaster ride of your life, right? And you're saying, if I get injured or hurt in this relationship, right? And this is the truth, I'm being honest. You signed a waiver. If anything past that point, you know you want a relationship. You know what you need for your life. Anything past the point that you do, like, well, I'll just hang out with them. Well, I'll just talk to them on the phone. No, don't do it. Y'all give me them daily heart meets and tap that screen, tap that screen. The daily heart meets are for you because you get points with that, right? You gain points from TikTok. That part, and I agree, it was on me. I've learned a hard lesson. Yeah, and it hurts. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. I know, and it hurts. It hurts. That's why I'm always talking about healing, because all of the healing begins with you. But there are some key fundamental things that you should look for if you are in a relationship and you're finding that you don't have the amount of balance that you need in that relationship. There are some things that you need to do from the gate, especially if you dating, because the world has changed, it's evolved. People consider a date as hooking up, and I'm like, no, not stop it, right? You know how some people do, they consider dating as Netflix and chilling. I'm like, that's the hood rat special. Like, what are we doing here, right? We're not doing that. We're not doing the hood rat special. Right? Netflix and chilling. No, we're not doing that. If you can't love me out loud, then you don't need to be with me. And that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. If you can't love me out loud, if you can't stand, thank you for the daily heart me. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Yeah. If you can't love me out loud, then what are we doing here? We're not Netflix and chilling. We're not at a Netflix and chilling point. Right. And I'm saying that as a female, excuse me, talking about how some men will approach you. If you go for it, that's what you're going to get. You're going to be in a situation shit. You're getting the good hood rat special. I promise you are. Right? Because that's what they're giving out. But when you matriculate mentally, emotionally, right, and you gain some clarity, you will no longer get that. Because when you begin to have clarity and know exactly what it is that you want, you won't even entertain anybody who's not on the same level as you. And I promise that your pain is for your purpose. I promise that it is. It is to help you to mature mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's meant for you to begin to see, real talk, who's for you and who's against you. Hey, hello, Hershey. How are you? I see you. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like, why are you playing in your own face? Why are you playing in your own face? Like, at some point, you have to be honest with yourself about how you're showing up and rendering in these relationships. That's why today I wanted to talk about balance, because it's an imperative. Like, you should notice this straight out the gate. Like, wait a minute, are you the one that's doing all of the phone calling? Are you the one doing all of the texting? And this is for both men and women. Because if she's interested in you, she's going to call you back, or she's going to call you, she's going to text you, she's going to make sure you good too. So it works both ways, right? And that's why that's why I'm talking about balance. It can't be one-sided. And you can only go as far in as a person allows you to be in their lives. You can't kick no doors down and make somebody care about you or love you, right? So a friend of mine, a different friend of mine, moved, and I didn't know that they had moved, and I had sent him a birthday card, to happy birthday. I do that, on occasion with my good close friends. And I didn't even know they had moved. I said, why didn't you tell me you moved? I said, I mailed you a birthday card. No wonder it came back. I was wondering, what was up with that? Oh, Kim, I moved. That's okay, but I didn't know that. They never gave me their new address, though. You know what that means? They don't want me to have it. Hello? Because if they wanted me to have it, they would have gave it to me. Right? Okay. All right now. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if that's what I do, then I'm not going to do that anymore. Because I don't have access. And I'm telling you, when people switch up on you and they stop, and they know who you are, and they switch up on you, that's not balance anymore. And it's on a day-by-day, case-by-case. Hey, Sue, I see you watching, my love. How are you? Yeah, it's on a day-by-day, case-by-case basis. Right? If I could show up to support you, but you can't show up to support me, that's a problem. If I could call you all the time, but you ain't never calling me, that's a problem. And that goes for men and women, friendships, romantic, and otherwise. Right? But that's why I felt like I needed to talk about this today, because there are some telltale signs about relationships that we need to be cognizant of. Right? And this is not just about, talking about one sex or the other. I'm just simply talking about the fact that you cannot continue, hear me, to climb mountains for people who wouldn't even jump over a puddle for you. You can't. And the funny thing about relationships is this, right? You could have been doing all of that for years, right? For people and being there for them and them being there for you. And then they stop. And then you got to revisit and you got to say, wait a minute. This relationship I don't called you 7 times and you ain't called me back once? Oh, okay. You understand? And I'm talking about just pure friendships. You ain't that busy. It just simply means I'm not that important. And I hear you and I see you and I'm going to raise you one. Because I caught the message. I got the message. I'm not that important to you and it's okay. Right? So we're going to act accordingly. And I'm not even talking about matching energy, because that's not what I do. I'm talking about reciprocity. And can I tell y'all something? Even God wants reciprocity, honey. He wants us to see how much he loves us and how he gave his he gave his only begotten son for us, right? God wants to see that. God wants reciprocity as well. And he keeps showing up and he keeps showing us and he keeps teaching us. He keeps being there for us. He keeps doing it so that we would one day understand who he is to us and for us in our lives. And if we are clear, then we know. That's why we be praising him. I'm so serious. Thank you for the follow, CC. Thank you, baby. I see you. Thank you. Right? But so as human beings, of course we need reciprocity in all of our relationships. We need our friends. And we need them to be, I don't mean exact, because some of your friends can't do for you what you can do for them. Right? Some of them can't. They just can't. Right? So, a lot of my friends make a whole lot of money, and I don't make a whole lot of money. Do y'all get what I'm saying? So they may be able to take you on vacation And, I'm talking about homegirls. I'm not talking about men, right? I'm just talking about my homegirls. And we, often they may, Kim, I got you, pay me back later. It depends on how expensive the vacation is or whatever. You never know, because I'm talking about 40-year friendships. I'm not talking about friendships where I met somebody 2 years ago. I'm talking about 40-year relationships. So over the years, there have been times when I did not have the amount of money to go. And I have had friends that looked out for me, took me to whatever, right? Trying to be clear, because I don't want to paint a bad picture. But at some point, because I wasn't where they was, I didn't have money like they had. I was a single mom paying a mortgage. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So I couldn't do what they could do, right? So they looked out for me, and I gave them the money back later. Went all the way to Cancun, like I was doing my thing, because my friends, they love me. Come on, Kim, whatever. And I couldn't do what they did at the level that they did it at the time, right? So I caught them on the other end, and I'm being honest, because everybody wasn't born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We all over here trying to get it, but I took vacations at times when I had to do it like that over the years, and especially when I was younger, right? So eventually, of course, the relationship is grown. You love them, they love you. Y'all are all cool. Y'all call each other. Y'all, have really great. Hey, Suge, I see you, baby. Right? You get it. You get it, Peaches. Right? The idea is, though, you pour back into them in addition to giving them back their good money, right? You pour back into them the way that they pour into you. Now, if and in fact the relationship changes, right? And you're able to pour back into them the same way they poured into you when you didn't have it, right? You go ahead and you do that. But you get to a point in time in your life where no matter what a person did, reciprocity is ongoing. What you did 5 years ago and how the relationship rendered then is not necessarily how the relationship is rendering now. I need for y'all to hear me. Because sometimes we hold on, and we do this in romantic relationships all the time. We do it all the time. We go, oh, but they were so good to me, and they did it, but they not good to you now. You all the way in now. You 2-3 years in now. And they was doing everything in their power. They call that love bombing, right? I love you, I love you. And then they slowly inch away, and you be like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then you trying to, well, no, I don't like this. Like, you're not showing up the same way that you showed up before. What's going on? Who are you? Like, what did you do with that wonderful and amazing person you was when I first met you, when you was willing to cook, willing to clean, take out the garbage, you was willing to do all the things? What happened to that person? Now you 10 toes down, you all the way in, and they begin to pull back. What are you doing in that relationship? It's not the same anymore. Things have changed. They're not treating you like they used to treat you. They don't realize that being in a relationship is an ongoing thing. You don't get to like ghost me and then come back. You don't get to. I was looking for you. I was dependent on you. You were my friend. I thought that I can really build something with you. And now I'm finding out that I can't. And now I'm finding out that I can't. Because who you pretended to be is not who you really are at all. You understand? And you have to, this is the reason why there needs to be balance, so nobody feels slighted. So nobody feels slighted. This is really a major issue in relationships. Right? Because we sell ourselves short sometimes. Because we get caught up sometimes. Because people come in one way and then they change. And what you really want is an authentic relationship. You're tired of the foolishness. You truly want someone in your life, right, who's going to be authentic and genuine with you. Willie says, hold on, Willie, I'm coming. Don't always look for the easy way out. I look at the vows we take, which many do not take today. No, because they switching up even the vows. But those vows are not unto the other person. The vows that you make is a covenant agreement that you're entering in with God on behalf of them. You're saying to God, you're not even really saying it to them. You're saying to God, I promise. And that's what a lot of people get wrong. They don't understand that part. When you say to have and to hold and to death door, you're saying that to God. You're not even saying that to the other person. And I'm being honest about that. That's a covenant agreement. And people don't understand the seriousness of marriage and relationships and what it does to us when we're not equipped, when we're not understanding who is the author and the finisher of our faith, when we are not in alignment with what God says we should have. People don't even realize that. They don't even realize that. They don't even realize the damage that they're doing, not only to themselves, but to other people, because they're out of alignment. They are out of alignment. And that's the truth. And it's quite sad, actually, because our hearts are hurting and they're broken because we are always out of alignment. We're not doing what it is that we're called. Matter of fact, check this out. It's not that we're not always doing what we're called to do. We're not self-aware. We're not aware of what's really going on outside of us, right? We're not paying attention. We're not listening to what people say and what they're not saying. Like listening is a real skill. It's a real skill. It really, really is. Learning to be a good listener is a real thing. And I know, hi, Mrs. Saturday, how are you? I see you. I see you. Yeah, listening is a real, real thing. It's a skill that needs to be acquired. Most people do a lot of talking, but they don't do a lot of listening. And we need to start listening for what a person is saying and what they're not saying. Because that's the only way to get to where it is that we really want to be. So this way, when you see the shenanigans, you know in advance. You see it clearly because you're listening. You're actively listening. You're listening to understand who the person is. You're listening to whether or not somebody operates with integrity. You're listening to hear if they have good character. And this is for both men and women. That's what we're listening for. That's what we need. That's what we want. Right? Thank you, Stephanie, for the follow. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So yeah, there needs to be balance in our relationships. Absolutely. It's not going to work any other way. We got to be able to say what we mean and mean what we say in a safe space. We have to learn how to communicate better. And if the other person is doing all of the talking and you can't get a word in edgewise and your feelings are not being validated and you don't feel good about the relationship and where the relationship is heading, you need to say that. Because balance is the key. Yes, I see you, Peaches. Yes, I see you. Right? So we're going to be honest about where we are in the relationship. The third thing that I wanted to say about that, and I have in my notes, is there needs to be shared responsibility in a relationship. You know, people keep thinking that relationships are 50-50, and there's not. It's not. Relationships are 100%, 100%. Period. Hey, Peaches, it's another Peaches. Hey, Peaches Queen, I see you. Thank you for the follow, my love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Right. Relationships aren't 50-50. They are not. They are 100%, 100%. And your responsibility in that relationship is 100%. And I know people get so mad. Kim, what do you mean? You know, and I always tell them, listen, you got to do your best to give 100. When you get up in the morning, you know, like people don't even understand that foreplay happens like at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like what? Like people don't understand that, right? Like, are you going to be kind? Are you going to be like, what is your goal? What is your agenda? What do you want for your relationship? Hey, kitty cat, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I love what you're saying. I understand, believe, and say these things all the time. Yeah, absolutely. Because because can I be honest? Like, it's crazy how people are like, no, I want this 50-50. No, you don't. No, you don't. You might say that, right? You're talking about 50% of the income. You're going to do 50% of the work in the house. Like, what are we talking about? Let's define even what 50-50 is. That's why these hard conversations you got to have, right? Hold on. Let me read this comment. Did they sit down with you and ask and said to your face in words, I want to build a good life with you? Or did we just assume we in real lifetime relationships because they are nice to us? Sometimes, let me tell you something, Monica, sometimes it is because we've made decisions that we want to be in relationships with them. They never said they wanted to be in relationship with us. And then we didn't define what relationships were, what it looked like. What does that look like? Tell me what you think love is. Tell me what you think relationships should look like. Tell me that. Tell me that. Because I promise that when you sit down, then you'll find out if they're on the same page as you, Monica, or they're off in the distance somewhere. They're not even in the same book or chapter as you are. It says their actions. Let me read these comments. I'm sorry. Okay. Their actions show you if they are capable of giving this effort. Exactly. Many times a person will say one thing and do another. Absolutely. That's why you have to not just listen to what they're saying, but also watch what they're doing, right? Because the words and the actions have to be in alignment. Otherwise, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I think that's the question that a lot of people need to define. Like, what are we doing? What's your goal? What's the end game? What do you want for your life? Like, and you can ask that not as if it's the Spanish Inquisition. We're not doing that. But you can ask them in very pleasant ways, like, what do you want? What's your goal for this relationship, right? And I'm talking about now you've been seeing them for, 3 months and it's been consistent and everything's going, like, what is it that you really want? Like, tell me, because I need to know. And you can actually ask that question much earlier than 3 months. But when when you're just winging it and you don't have a plan, chances are you're going to end up, wasting your time, Peaches. So many people waste their time. That's what you're going to end up doing. Because there is no winging it if you want to be in a serious relationship, and they don't. It's like, oh, okay. So I think one of my homeboys said to me, he actually said this today. He said, if a man cheats, and nobody gets upset, but let a woman cheat on that man, oh my God, it is going down. He said, because you don't ever want your woman to be with nobody else, and I was laughing at him. And I said, no, that's true, right? So it's a real thing. Like men, some men like, oh no, I just had a little. Hey Joe, I see you. Yes, everything is going well, my love. Everything is going great. I'm on I'm on 3 platforms right now, streaming right now. But yeah, so what does what mean? Okay, if you're in a relationship with a friend and he cares about you but wants to hide our relationship behind walls, what does that mean? Because he's not that into you. He doesn't want to be in a relationship. Hey Tish, how are you? I was on your red cup with Tiny and Honey. That was fire. That was absolutely fire. So if a person they don't want to be in a relationship with you, not a real one, because they're not hiding it. They're gonna love you out loud. They're gonna love you out loud. I promise you, they're gonna love you out loud. They're gonna love you out loud. Nobody's hiding. And see, that's another issue, because I was talking about earlier the Netflix and chilling business, right? That's another issue. That's a whole nother issue. right? Yeah, girl, that red cup was something. That red cup was something. Ooh, I said, okay, we is jamming over here. I'll never miss another Sunday night. I promise you I won't. Okay. But yeah, yeah. So be honest, they really not that into you. Because people who really want you, really love you, they begin to introduce you to their friends. They don't hide that. They don't hide it. They're not undecided. Right. And that's another reason why I'm talking about balancing relationships. You might introduce them to all of your friends, but you ain't met not one of theirs. That don't work. And I don't know why. Like I think we're not always consciously aware of what's happening because we're just doing our thing day to day. They call you up and they say, hey, you want to go out or you want to do something or whatever, and then you got to go 2 or 3 towns over in order to go out. No, that's a problem. That's a problem. If they're serious about you, they're going to announce you to the world. You don't have to hide any parts of yourself. Believe me. Believe me when I tell you. They're going to love you, respect you, and honor you just for who you are. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they're going to do. Right? And so let's be honest. Like, do people not understand that? Okay, so the other day I saw a reel, and I don't know how true it is. It was a reel, but it seemed to be based on this woman's real life. And the woman was dealing with this guy. They were going out, they were dating, they were doing whatever. Now, this is not anything against the men. Thank you for the follow, Dot. Thank you, Dot Zero. I see you. Thank you. Um, and the guy and her were dating, and she got pictures of them everywhere, like hanging out and doing, whatever, right? And they must have started sleeping together at some point, and she got pregnant, right? When she got pregnant, the guy ghosted her. So she has the baby, her choice, her decision. And she looking for this guy, and she didn't even have his real name. She can't find him because she don't know his real name. And in the reel, it turns out that I can't say the word on TikTok, but he was on the registry. Let me say that, because certain words you can't say on TikTok. But he was on the registry as an offender. And she didn't find that out until she actually found his real name. Because she never met any of his family. She just was hanging out with this guy. And she was having a good time. And they started, doing the horizontal mambo. And what happened? Oopsie. Right? And she thought, okay, I'll just tell him, I'm with child. Thank you, Peaches. Another great live getting together with family shortly and looking forward to joining you. Yes, Peaches, thank you so much, my love. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah. And so, she didn't know. Like now she's pregnant with child. She's raising her baby by herself. But he goes to her. She didn't even know his last name. She didn't even know his name, period. And when she started doing some research, she found him and she found out who he really was. And so we really, truly do have to be consciously aware of who we're getting in relationships with. And that's the truth. That's the truth. I see y'all watching. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Right? I mean, if I'm going to be honest, hey, Pamela, how are you? Thank you for the follow, Renetta. Thank you. I hope I didn't butcher your name. But yeah. That's, like you want to be involved. You want to, I'm blessed, sweetheart. I am blessed. Yes. Thank you. So, yeah, you want to be careful. You don't just want to get involved with people, right? Have these relationships with them. Not really know them. They're not taking you outside. You don't know anyone in their family. Y'all are just spending time in the house and doing. No, we're not. love me out loud or don't even love me. Hey, Jaden, how are you? Thank you for the follow, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Like, if you're going to be in a serious relationship, you need to have some balance. Yeah. You want to be loved out loud, right? Like, honestly. And can I be honest? Like, I mean, I'm being super honest. If there is no reciprocity, there is nothing. It's like trust. If you don't have trust and respect in your relationship, you have nothing. Because, like, what do you really have, right? What do you really have if you don't have trust in your relationship? If you're not, if you hide in me, and I'm supposed to think that I matter, how does that work? I can't matter that much. I can't. So the question, to be honest with you, is not really about them, because I talk about healing. The question is, why are you in relationship with somebody who's not loving you out loud, who's hiding you, who's treating you funny style when you out in the street, not showing up in the ways in which they should show up for you, the way, yeah, come on here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's because you're not that into me. If you're doing that, that's because, you don't want what I want if you're doing that. Because the requirement of me is loving me out loud. That's the requirement. Don't act funny when we out in the street. Don't treat me different. Don't hide the fact that, we close. You acting funny. Why you acting funny? Right? Thank you for the follow, Isabel. Thank you, baby. Thank you. It is vitally important that we understand what our standards need to be for our life. And this is for both men and women. Because I know that a lot of men have had a lot of bad experiences with women, but primarily because it's harder to get to the fruit that's on the top or in the middle of the tree than it is to take the fruit that's off the ground. So, people pick up the apples and they put them in this thing so they could just let the apples fall. Those apples are falling. But if they had to climb the tree, would they climb the tree for you? Most people just pick up what's on the ground because it's easier. And then are very disappointed when things don't work out because they don't have the intestinal fortitude that they need in order to have a great relationship. They're not helping you win at all. And again, this is for both men and women. So the question then becomes, why? Why are you dealing? Why are you in relationship? Why are you seeing somebody? Why are you talking to somebody who don't think that much of you? That's the problem. It's a problem. Real talk. And it's not their problem. It's your problem if you're allowing it. And I'm not trying to be funny. We need to be in relationship with people who desire the same things that we desire. Otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? Right? Like, let's be honest. And I think we don't always know what we're doing because we've never asked ourselves, and this is serious business, you've never asked yourself what you truly want and what you need in your life. And part of the reason why we don't desire more is because deep down inside, we don't think we're worthy of what we really want. So sometimes we hang out too long with people who do not want to help us to matriculate, who only take advantage of the fact that we are vulnerable, for men and women. I was watching this reel. It was hilariously funny. I got to say this. And so I'm using this as an analogy. So this young lady, I don't know if y'all saw it, but if y'all saw it, it was hilarious. But I got to tell y'all about it. So this young lady goes into her pastor and she says to her pastor, I need you to pray for my OnlyFans. And he was like, and so he was like, I don't feel right praying for your OnlyFans. And so the pastor goes, and so she goes, well, I make $25,000 a month. He was like, 25,000 a month, $25,000 a month on OnlyFans. Like, it's hilarious. And then he says, well, I don't feel right. He said, still, you can't do things like that and expect me to pray for you, right? And it was hilarious. But he then says, she then says to him, Pastor, all I do is show my feet, right? And the pastor started praying. It was hilarious. Oh, my God. And the pastor started praying for her to continue to make the money because he wanted her to tithe at the church. It was hilarious. This reel was hilarious. Anyway, I laughed so hard. But the reason why I'm using that is this, right? If somebody's not on this journey with you and they're not 10 toes down with you, right? And they don't understand who you are, what you need, or what you want, and you don't have any clarity around that, people are going to give you what they want to give you. They're not going to give you your heart's desire until you know what your heart's desire is for your own life. She said, Pastor, I just need to feed my kids and I need to pay my rent and stuff. So I said, wow, she must got some cute feet. It was a cartoonish type of situation. But the reason why I just thought that was funny is because when he told her she was only showing her feet, he started praying when he heard the amount of money that she was making. It was hilarious. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. But anywho, my point in saying that is that you got to know what you need. What do you need? What do you need for you? What do you want in a relationship? And stop settling for less than you deserve. Because, like, if you got a small circle of friends and you got 5 people in your circle, 5, and that's including one, your sister or something, right? And that's the person that you can rely on and be there, and they got your back and you got theirs. And these 5 friends are your close friends and they always got your back, right? Why do you need to get involved with somebody who never had your back? You got what you need already. And the reason why I'm saying this is sometimes we take on things that aren't even right for us. And we should know it. You gotta know it. When I was young and I got married, I didn't know how to be a wife. I didn't even know what I wanted for real. You know how you just say to yourself, I want to be married? Because that's what every little girl, I think every little girl, I'm not sure, desires. And you get married and you realize that you don't even know. Like, you flounder, you think you know, but you really don't know when the rubber. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, both of y'all. Thank you, appreciate you. So when I got married, I didn't know what I was doing. I was making all kinds of egregious mistakes, right? And then was sick to my stomach because my marriage wasn't working out. He was only doing what I allowed him to do. I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't think I needed to. So he was doing whatever he felt like he wanted to do. Thank you for sharing out the live, baby. Thank you. Trisha, I see you. I see you. Thank you, my love. Yeah. He was only getting away and doing what I had not a clue. Boundaries, what's that? Right? Like, why do I need boundaries? He's going to love me, right? Like, never considering the other side of this thing. I wasn't looking. I thought balance was automatic. I thought he would just know how to love me right. What standard? What boundaries? And so it took me all of these years to heal so that I can get to the point where I understand, right? So I can get to the place. Hi, Miss Paradise. Thank you so much for the follow, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I can get to the place, hear me, where I am whole, right? And I'm saying he clowning me, but I was clowning myself and didn't even know it. That's why your silence is violence in your relationships. That's why your silence is violence. That's why you have to speak truth to power. That's why you have to. You have to be honest, and you have to be honest in love. Tell them what you want. Tell them what you need, but you have to define that for yourself. And here's the thing, you can't be wishy-washy about it. You know, when you know what you know, I don't want that. No, I'm not doing a hood rat special. I'm not doing Netflix and chilling. No. Mm-mm. Well, I want to take you out. Yeah, okay. I like you. Okay. But we're not doing that. Call me back when you get it together. Or how about if you thought that little of me to begin with, how about don't? Because can I be honest with you? And this is strictly for my ladies, this particular comment. A man already knows who you are and if they want to wife you. They know. They know the quality of the person that you are. They listen to you. Men are methodical. They know what they want. We be up here playing in our own phase. They know if they just want to, you know, uh, horizontal mambo. They know who you are. They just want to see what they can get away with. You ever see somebody and you can see the brilliance of who they are, right? You just know that they're these amazing and brilliant and wonderful people. But you talk to them and they can't even see their own brilliance. They don't see the bright light that they are. They don't see how wonderful and amazing that they are. I don't know, have y'all ever had that as an experience where you be like, yo, you dope, like you super dope, right? I really like your vibe, like you are amazing, right? And they be like, what? And they kind of taken aback. They don't know how to even receive it. They don't know how to say thank you because they don't see themselves that way. Well, a man who really likes you, he sees you. He knows your value and your worth. And a woman, we always marry potential. I'm not going to curse, but I was going to say backwards. Because we marry potential. They don't marry potential. Men very rarely marry potential. I'm so serious. They, for the most part, excuse me, y'all. I need some water. Y'all give me a second. I got to go off screen because, TikTok is so funny. Oh, y'all. I needed that. Listen to me. Women get and have grown accustomed to, well, maybe he could become. At our age, and I don't know how old any of you are, but at our age, 40 and up, you should pretty much be established and be who you say you're going to be. I'm not trying to be funny. If they're not doing anything, by the time they in their 40s, they pass like, you shouldn't even be looking at them as potential anymore. They could potentially change. They could. But what are the odds that they are? Especially if you don't have a requirement. And men see that. They can feel your energy. They know when you doubt yourself. They know when you don't understand your worth and your value. And I don't care what anybody says, people treat you the way that you let them treat you. And that he could be the dopest person in the world and he could treat everybody else good and treat you like you're not worth anything because you don't require him to treat you like that. And I'm being honest. Not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, just say ouch and amen. I'm just telling the truth. So we sit around sometimes and we have these dreams of grandeur that this man is somehow going to change and be different for us. Baby. He either is it or he's not. He either wants to build with you or he don't. And if you're in a relationship and your relationship, male or female, is lopsided, it is out of order. And very few relationships work when they're lopsided over the long haul. And I'm just being honest about that. Right? Y'all ain't tapping that screen. I need y'all to tap that screen. I want to see them hearts coming up. Y'all play too much. Y'all play way too much. But yeah. So a lot of times we play in our own phase. And we don't see a man already being in the fullness of who he's called to be. And we try to hitch him up and catch him up and make him. No, that doesn't work. In fact, I think that if you try to, change him, and that's what's hurting me the most today. What's hurting you, sweetheart? What's hurting you? And I think, like, when we go into a relationship looking to change how people are and how they show up, did y'all get y'all daily heart meet for today? Y'all do your daily heart meet. Oh, that I played in my own. Yeah, we be playing in our own face. We don't, and it hurts. It really hurts. I've been there. I've done it. Which is why now I am so emphatic about like my friendships and stuff. I'm like, oh, when I see something, I'll be like, oh, okay, I see you. And I don't pretend I didn't see what I just saw. Because I'm not going to be delusional about the relationships that I have. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not going to be delusional at all. When you show me who you are, I can't unsee what I just saw. And I'm not going to try to dress it up and put it in a cute little box and put a bow on it to say I am in a relationship with you. It ain't that serious for me. It's not. It never is. It shouldn't be that serious for any of us. Just to say you have someone. Because I'm worth much more than that. All of us are. And they just take basic stuff. Okay, because my love was pure and now it was just a waste of time. No, it wasn't a waste of time. Don't say that. It was never a waste of time. Never. Not any relationship that you've ever been in has been a waste of time. And I say that because if you learned a lesson about who you are, what you need, and what you want, it could have never been a waste of time. Then what were they? Lessons. Lessons. Not a waste. You learned something extremely valuable about yourself that is causing you now to evolve and get better. Always lessons. Always lessons. You know, when people call me, I don't always assume that I'm there to help them when they call me. I'm always listening to hear what the lesson in the conversation is for me. Because I listen well. Like I'm on here and I talk a lot. Yes. Yes. But when I'm listening to a client or a friend, I listen for the message that I'm supposed to get for that day. So somebody said I needed to hear this today in the comments. Somebody typed that in the comments, right? And it's the truth. Cause you came in at just the right time, because you know how TikTok is, right? TikTok is set up in a way that, you know, the conversation just keeps evolving as you are talking to me and asking me questions. The conversation is just constantly evolving. And so whatever you heard was exactly what you were supposed to hear. And it's also saying to us, we have to stop dumbing ourselves down to appease or try to be in, to conform to, twisting ourselves in pretzels for relationships. That's why I'm tapping out. I tap out. I see foolishness. I tap out. I can't do it. We're not doing the foolishness, not in 2025. Thank you. You came at the right time. I really needed this. Thank you, Becca. Like, listen, real talk. You know how TikTok is, it just evolves, and whoever gets on, gets on. Y'all know what it is. You hear what you hear, right? The replay will be on my YouTube page, which is Real Love Jones, right? So you can watch the whole thing. You can share it out. You can do whatever. But, wait. I'm coming to K-Love. I'm coming to what you said. But hold on. It says, I was triggered today by my boy's father, and now I'm listening to this live, but God. Yeah, it was right. It was at the right time. And so the only thing, what I do is I teach men and women to heal, right? Because I used to talk about the 7 ways to get your soulmate and all that. And I realized somewhere along the line that it wasn't about that. The reason why we're not in good relationships now is there's a lot of reasons, but primarily because we're not healed. Because we haven't been working on ourselves. Because we've been walking away with a gash in our left side bleeding out. And then we got to go somewhere and get sutured up, right? And we can't just jump back out there into the game, because it's a real, even though you cannot see the wound, it is real pain, it is real hurt, it is, they violated you. They talked about you, they didn't treat you good. They abused you. They didn't take care of what they needed to take care of. And this is for both men and women. But there's no particular sex, because men have been done the same way. They have been lied to and cheated on. Just like women, there are some dope brothers out here. Dear Lise, oh my God. No, you're welcome, my love. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. It's been over for months, but God always gives me a sign on why I need to let go. Yeah, absolutely. You got to forgive. You have to forgive them. Not for them, for you. I was telling them last night, I was here on TikTok last night, and I was telling them, like, I didn't even punish my kids, right? When they were small. And the reason why I punish my kids is because if I say, oh, you ain't watching TV for a week, that means I had to stay home in order to make sure that because back in the day, you couldn't just unplug the other side of the TV. Now they got it where you can unplug it, take the plug, put it in your car. No, they didn't have that. It was attached to the TV. You could not stop. You couldn't continue. So if I was punishing my children, and this is in reference to forgiveness, I was also punishing myself. Thank you for the follow, sweetheart. Dear, I thank you. I was also punishing myself. So I didn't want to punish myself. So I ain't put them on punishment. I gave them a pow and sent them on their way. So that's what unforgiveness is like. Unforgiveness is like not forgiving, like putting yourself on punishment. Right? because they ain't know how to love you right. And that part is not your fault. Our pickers being broken is our fault. Us not having clarity around what we want and need is our fault. But even in that, give yourself some grace because you didn't know that you didn't know what you didn't know. Okay, wait a minute. Willie is saying something to me. Hold on. Okay. What did you say, Willie? We will be ourselves, learning to know if we can live together is the question. Like you tonight, I'm doing 3 things online, but as always, I'm glad to be here with you tonight. Well, Willie, I appreciate you being here with me tonight. You know, I just love me some you. You always be showing up. You always showing up for me. I'm going to be rocking out like this from now on, though, because I've been on the Book of Face at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, and then I come over here to these TikTok streets because I love it. And then I'll be over here every night. So I'm like, if I can combine this into one thing, it'll be dope. Like if I can have my people on the Book of Face and TikTok and YouTube, oh, I'm rocking out. I am completely rocking out tonight. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But Willie, you know, you're amazing. I'm going to inbox you because I want to ask you a question anyway. I'll do that later when I get off, right? I'm going to inbox you. But yeah. So we need to be real clear about what balance in relationships look like, but we can't be real clear about what we don't know. So what I'm asking you all that are still watching, because there's about 70 of y'all on here tonight, you know what I'm asking y'all to do? Write down 3 things that are a requirement for you, just 3, don't go crazy, that you need in order to see a successful relationship. Write down 3 things that you need in the immediate that are going to help you define what your relationship should look like. Write down, I'm repeating it, write down 3 things that will help you to define what your relationship should look like on a piece of paper. Write it down. Can I tell you, and I don't usually do this with my Facebook peeps, but I want to say this to you, right? When you begin to write the vision and you make it plain, that's biblical, right? But it's also scientific. And I say this generally on my thing. Hey, Monica, consistency, loyalty, friendship. Write it on some paper. If that's what it looks like, write it down. And that is going to be the bar by which you measure all of your relationships, those 3 principles, because that's what's immediately important to you. Here's the other thing I want to say to you. You said, I'm going to just use your example, Monica. I'm not just talking to you, though, but I'm going to use your example because you posted it. Consistency, loyalty, friendship. What begins to happen when we write down these characteristics on a piece of paper and we read them every day? What does it look like? Literally, I promise you, read it 3 times a day. Read it more if you can, but read it. Define what that looks like an actual picture, like write a story about the actual picture of what that looks like to you, right? Do that. And then this, watch what happens. Every cell in your body begins to shift. I really mean this, so that you become what you're asking for. That's the importance. See, it's not so important that anybody else be that. It's more important that you be that. Because when you begin to show up and be consistent with yourself, loyal and integrous within yourself, and be kind, loving, and generous with yourself, that helps other people to see who you really are and how you really are in relationships, right? So when you operate with those same characteristics, that'll be the energy that you're exuding in your life. And when you exude that level of energy, there are a few things that are happening biochemically in your body. Let's be clear. When you say, I am a thing, you become a thing. When you speak life over your life, that's what you become. But you can't have what you can't see. That's why I said take those three words and write a story around it, right? When you write the story, you're writing the story to the positive. This is what I teach in my classes. You write the story to the positive, right? And as you're writing the story to the positive, you read that every day, minimum 3 times a day. You begin to shift into the person that you desire. When that happens, you vibrate at a different level. Your energy, you exude a different energy. I've shared this before. You know, and I'm sidebarring, but not super sidebarring. I need y'all to hear me, right? Do you know why it is that every time you get into a relationship with somebody, then all of a sudden you got 17 other people that want to be in a relationship with you? All of a sudden, you went from feast to famine, right? You went from famine to feast because now everybody is interested in you. And it's crazy. You're like, wait a minute, all these people are coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden, but now I'm in a relationship. Where was y'all when I wasn't in a relationship, right? Can I tell you what happened? And this is right, unique. Right. You know why that happens though? Because when you're in a relationship and things are good, your energy shifts and you become more attractive to the opposite sex. Not because you any cuter, not because you got on a different clothes. It's the energy you're exuding because you feel good about who you are and where you are right now because you're being properly loved. And when a woman is being properly loved, a woman shows up differently. I promise. But it's for men too. If you ask men, and this is real talk, like after they just been, doing the horizontal mambo with a woman and they feel like the king, right? I did that. You know what I'm saying? They go outside, they walk different. There's a different confidence about them. They feel good. They attract women because women feel that energy just like men do. And you could be minding your business, walking in your little, in your sweatsuit in Walmart's, minding yours. Ain't nothing too crazy. There's nothing too crazy, right? You're just minding your business. And you begin to meet people because they can feel the energy being emitted from you, right? Because you're loved. You ever meet somebody like that? You glowing. What happened with you? You glowing. I see you. Girl, you look good. What you doing? You be like, nothing. You know how that starts. Thank you, Sunshine, for the follow, baby. Thank you for the follow. Listen, you know what's happening? And I really mean that. What's happening is that inside of you, you begin to feel so good about who you are when you're loved properly that people are automatically attracted to you. It's like a moth to a flame, and you don't even be understanding. That's why it's always feast or famine for men and for women when they finally get into a relationship. It's the endorphins. It's the synapse it's the way that your brain is wired. So when I start talking about the scientific part of you becoming what it is, hey, bad boy, I see you. You join you from what's up though. I love that. I love that. Thank you for being here. Right? People don't know. They don't be knowing what it is. It's your energy. Your energy just shifted because you are now feeling loved. So what I do in my classes is I literally teach men and women how to replicate that without being in relationships so that they can attract the love that they truly deserve and desire. But there's got to be a shift in you. Like, sis, you glowing. Like, yo, man, what's up with you? You look good. Like, wait a minute. And they feeling good and they walking with their chest out. You shift when you're loved. And so many people run from that. They run from it. They're like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't, make sure y'all get y'all daily heart me if y'all up here. Get your daily heart me so you can get your points from TikTok. Get your daily heart me. Hey, Glenn, I see you. How are you? I see you. Yeah, I'm so serious. Like, when you think about this, think about it. Think about it. It always happens. It's either feast or famine. That's because your energy shifts. It's as simple as that. So when you feel good about who you are, you can replicate. You was about to check it. Check it, Glenn. Glenn said, I'm checking it. I'm checking it. Hit that little box up at the top that says 24 in it. Hit that little box up at the top so you can get your points from TikTok. If you send that, and it's going to say send your daily heart me, that's a penny. And then if you make a comment, it gives you more points and all this stuff. Do that. So check in that way so that you can get your points from TikTok. Right? It shows that you've been actually actively involved in the live, and it benefits you. Yes. So yeah. That's where the shift happens. That's when your life begins to change. And I'm so serious about that. There you go, Unique. Unique, right. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for the daily heartbeat, for joining. Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah. And we be wondering, like, why is that? But that's why I teach that. Because you really can duplicate that and attract who you want in your life. But in order to attract what you want in your life, you've got to gain clarity around what you want in your life. So take the 3 things that you wrote down. Hey, Mahogany, I see you, baby. Thank you. How are you? Thank you for liking the live today. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So when you make a decision, right? Thank you. Thank you for joining my team. Thank you. I see you. When you make a decision, you can replicate that same energy. And people don't know that. That's why I started teaching about healing, because we keep getting in these failed relationships and that's not working. It's such a dark place to be when love equals freedom, peace, joy, happiness. All of that. That's what I want. I don't want to be stuck mad, unhealed, wounded, because somebody didn't know how to love me. We're not doing that. Mm-mm. We healing over here in these streets. We straight healing. That's what we working on. Working on becoming a better version of ourselves. Period. Period. So that's what we need and we want to be. Listen, y'all, I'm going to go, but I'll be back on tomorrow at 8 o'clock because I got Bible study at 7. So I'll be on here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I can't wait to So y'all follow me. I need y'all to follow Sisters Inspires Sisters. She is, if you're writing a book, she will help you write your book, get your book published and everything. She is so dope. She is a very good friend of mine, and she's amazing. And I want y'all to follow her. Sisters Inspires Sisters. And matter of fact, I'm going to repost one of her videos because she's amazing. And you guys follow her. I want to be supportive and follow people that I know are really trying to make a difference out here, that are doing something that they're called to do. So yeah, y'all follow her, support her, and she'll follow you back if you legit, right? Because some people have private pages and they follow me. And once I find out that their page is private, I don't request a follow, right? That means, they just want to follow me, right? K-Love, thank you. Vincent, where have you been, Vincent? Vincent, you're just getting here. I'll be back on tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Vincent. I'll be back on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock after Bible study. Y'all play too much. Listen, I need you to be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all are so dope and so amazing. And thank you for all. I'm here. You know, girl. You know you my girl. Yes, I am. I received that. I received that. Look, much love. Much love to you, baby. Yes. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow when I get on. I'm gonna get on right after Bible study, and we're gonna give it up. We're gonna give it up. Thank you for the roses, Vincent. Thank you for loving on me. Y'all so dope. That's why I love these TikTok streets. Yes, Kit Kat, come back tomorrow. Love you. Can't wait to see you. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow. What y'all want to talk about tomorrow? Inbox me. Inbox me, and I'll talk about that topic. But inbox me before 7. No, inbox me before 6 or tonight. What do y'all want to talk about? You want to talk about everything? Okay, whatever, however it flows, it flows. However it flows, it flows. But if y'all give me a topic, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. I'll incorporate it. Incorporate it. Yeah. You guys are amazing. Y'all are dope. I thank you for listening. I thank y'all for being here. And I thank you for all the support. And thank you, Vincent, for all of the roses, sweetheart. You want to talk about relationships? Okay. Okay. Y'all have a blessed night. All right. All right. Good night. They so dope. Oh my God. So dope. So yes, my Facebook peoples, that was me live, and my YouTube peoples, that was me live over in them TikTok streets, and I love it. They are so dope. If y'all ain't on TikTok, y'all need to get on TikTok. I'm trying to tell you because it be love over there, for real, for real. Listen, I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm going live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Y'all be blessed.